All right, lesson 139 is a review lesson. I'm cleaning off my glasses right now as I talk. Doing these a little early so Judson can watch them too. Let me move this out of the way. I decided to use red today, by the way. Why not, right? If it can see it well, I'll keep using my red ink. All right, so we are reviewing equations up here. Since this is in the new part of even the review lesson, I'll do these with you. So in an equation, your goal is to get y by itself. So I can do the 23 plus 7 side. So I'll bring down the 6y and say it equals 23 plus 7 is 30. At this point, this is 6 times y. And to get rid of that, I will divide by 6. And what you do on one side, you have to do on the other side. Now I'm left with y equals 30 divided by 6 is 5. Now let's check it. Write your 6, put your 5 in parentheses. That means times 5 equals 23 plus 7. Over here we have 30, and over here we have 30. So we're good. Pretty easy stuff. All right. In B, let me put my kitchen light on. It's getting dark for me. There we go. I can see better now. All right, so I have n divided by 5 equals 15 divided by 5. All right, I don't know what to divide this. Is that 3? Yeah, n divided by 3. Sorry, sometimes I can't see them. 15 divided by 3 is, divided by 5 is 3. At this point, this is n divided by 3, so to get rid of it, whoa, where did we go? To get rid of it, I'm going to times by 3. And when I times by 3 on that side, I have to times by 3 on this side. So these two cancel each other out because this was like 3 over 1. You're left with n, and that would equal 9. Let's see if it works. 9 over 3, does that equal 15 over 5? 9 over 3 is 3. 15 over 5 is 3. So we're good. All right, x plus 9 equals 14 plus 11. I can do the 14 plus 11, so I'm going to do it, and that's 25. This is plus 9, so to get rid of it on this side, I will make it minus 9, and make it minus 9 over here. And once again, Judson, this may look a little different than how your book is doing it, so I just think it makes sense to do it this way. So this is the way I do it. So plus 9 minus 9, these are just gone. You're left with x equals 25 minus 9. Well, 25 minus 10 would be 15. So let me add one more and you get 16. So let's put that 16 in to replace this x up here. 16 plus 9 equals 14 plus 11. 16 plus 9 is 25. 14 plus 11 is 25. H minus 5 equals 37 over 8, or 32 over 8. Oh, my eyes are terrible. H minus 5 equals 32 divided by 8. That's 4, because 4 times 8 is 32. Plus 5. Now, Ryan is not getting beat up in the background by my husband, if you can hear that. They're playing Wii together. They're playing some kind of tag game. Okay. So minus 5 plus 5 is 0. So I'm left with h over here. 4 plus 5 on this side is 9. Let's see if it works. So take that 9 and replace the h. 9 minus 5 equals 32 divided by 8. 9 minus 5 is 4. 32 divided by 8 is 4. Okay? E. X divided by 9 I can't do, but I can do 2 plus 7. Now this will be times 9 times times 9. You can do the x or the dot. Probably should stick with the dot because the x's aren't really good at this point. All right, that cross cancels, so you're left with x equals 81. 81 divided by 9. Does it equal 2 plus 7? And I don't really have room here, but 9 equals 9. N minus 8 equals 6 times 3. All right, so I can't do the n minus 8, so I'll just bring it down, but I can do 6 times 3, which is 18. At this point, what's the opposite of minus 8? Because I want to get rid of it on this side, so n's by itself. I'll do a plus 8. So do a plus 8 over here. Now I've got n. 18 plus 8, 26. So 26 minus 8. So once you know what n equals, put it in the replacement of n and see if it is correct. 26 plus 8 would be, minus 8, sorry. Erase this. I guess that one. And it had to erase. There we go. 26 minus 8 would be 16. No, 18. And 6 times 3 is 18. 4 times x, that's what this means. 4 times x. 4 times some number equals 16. Well, I don't know about you, but I already know it's 4, right? 4 times 4 is 16. That's not what I want to know. If you do this, it's wrong, okay? The process is what's important. So there's nothing to do on the 16 side. So this is 4 times x, so let's divide it by 4. And then you'll do 16 divided by 4. That's what we want to see. These two cancel each other out. You're left with x. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 4 times 4 equals 16. 16 equals 16. It's all about the process. Y plus 7 equals 9. Oh, I don't even have to, whoops, put that because there's nothing to do on that other side, is there? So at this point, where that problem is right now, I can right away do minus 7. So over here, this is gone. And this is y equals 9 minus 7 is 2. 2 plus 7 equals 9. And it sure does. Okay? Solve the story problems. The area of a parallelogram is 56 feet. The base is 8 feet. What is the height? So, remember the formula of a parallelogram is area equals base times the height. Remember that? So, they gave us the area. They told us the area. So, they're saying 56 feet squared equals, write this with me, they give us the base, which is 8 feet. They did not give us the height, and we need to find that. So just think about this normally. Let's think of an easy multiplication or division problem. If you had 8 equals 4 times what? Of course, you know it's a 2, but if you do 8 divided by 4, you would get 2. That's what we do up here, okay? Get rid of this. All right, so it's going to be 56 divided by 8. And what is that? It's a 7. So the answer is 7 feet. That's the answer to that problem. Okay? All right, let's look at the other problem. So the perimeter of the square is 124 feet. 124 feet. So what's the length of each side? It's a square. So all sides are the same. So remember, the perimeter of a square is 4 times the sides, right? So I know the perimeter, it's 124 feet. Somewhere on your paper, on scrap paper, write this. So 124 feet equals 4 times whatever the sides are. That's what they want to know. So what do? I just do 124 divided by 4. 4 goes into 12 3 times perfectly, and then 4 would go into 4 once. Right? So my sides are all 31 feet. because it's a square. All right. Let's do order of operations. All right, so remember, let's just review. If you have parentheses, do those first. After that, if you have exponents, do those next. At that point, multiplication and division, you do them in order from left to right that you find them in the problem. Then addition and subtraction, you do them from left to right that you see them in the problem. So as I look at A, I have no parentheses and I do not have an exponent, but I do have multiplication and division. So these guys get done first in the order that we see them. So I'm just going to bring down 7 plus because I can't do that yet. I have to do 3 times 4 first because that's what comes next. So 3 times 4 is 12. I'll just put a little 12 up here. And then 12 divided by 6 is 2. So it's going to be 7 plus 2. See how that works? You almost could, you might see somebody do it like this. Let me erase this. If they want to write it all out longhand almost, you would bring this 7 plus down. And I'm just going to put that 3 times 4 in parentheses as a 12. And that'll be divided by 6. That has to be next. So at that point, I'll bring the 7 plus down again. And I'll do 12 divided by 6 is 2. And then 7 plus the 2 is 9. But you can almost just do it in your head. You know that you can't do this first. You have to do the 3 times 4 first. Because you go in order. And when it comes to multiplication and division, one isn't more important than the other. You just have to do the order that they're written. So 3 times 4 is 12. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So there's the 2. Now I can add it to the 7, which is 9. All right, now as I look at B, they're putting that plus in parentheses because otherwise you would do 7 times 6 first. You see that? Because it comes, you do multiplication and division before addition and subtraction. But they want you to do this addition before you do the multiplication. So I can't do the 7 times yet. So I'm going to do 6 plus 4 is 10. Now I can subtract it by 3. At this point, the 7 times 10 comes first, not just because it comes first in the problem, but because multiplication is more important, or it should be done before subtraction. More important probably isn't the correct word, but I kind of feel like the order of operations over here, the first is the most important, whatever. Just so you think I got to do that first before that. So I have to do the 7 times 10 first, even if it came last in the problem. 7 times 10 is 70, minus 3 is 67. 5 plus 1/2. All right, so I have to square root the 1/2, not square root, I have to square the 1/2 first. And that is not 1 whole. That would be 1/2 plus 1/2. I have to do 1/2 times 1/2, which in the world of fractions, multiplying actually makes something smaller, which is 1/4. So now it's going to be 5 plus 1/4, which is just 5 1/4. It's a whole number in a fraction, that's all. Okay? All right. Let's do the next one. I'm trying to figure out where I want, how far I want to go here. Let's see. I think I might leave D just because it is extra credit. I would like you to try it, though. I don't know. I'm tempted to do it with you. Such a dilemma. Such a big, big dilemma. All right. I'll go ahead and do it with you. All right, so look at this one. I don't have any parentheses, but I do have an exponent. I have 3 to the 2 to the second power. So I'm just going to bring down the other 2. and I'm going to go ahead and square the 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay? At this point, the 6 plus 9 is more important. All right? Multiplication before addition and subtraction. So I'm just going to bring the 5 plus down, and then I ask myself, what is 6 times 9? 54. And at this point, then I can add 5 plus 54 and get 59. On number 4, you're going to have to do on your own. So you're going to draw a circle graph to illustrate this story problem. I'm going to erase this just in case I need the space. Claire collects foreign coins. She has 15 Canadian coins, 10 Mexican coins, and 5 Brazilian coins. So we have to graph that. I will show you how to get the percentages here. So the first thing I have to do is total up how many coins she has. If she has 15 and 10 and 5, what's that total? You get 30? So she has a total of 30 coins. And I would really suggest, I mean, it might be bigger on your paper than mine. It probably is. But I'd do it on another sheet of paper and just attach it. Okay? So what we have to do is find percents. So the Canadian coins, CA, that looks like California. The Canadian coins are 15 out of 30, right? She has 15 Canadian coins out of 30 coins total. That's 1/2 as a fraction, which that will equal 50% on your graph, on your circle graph. We'll get the degrees in a second. Then we have the Mexican, and that is 10 out of the 30, which reduces to 1/3, which is 33%, 33 1/3%, but we'll just round it to 33. And then we have Brazilian coins, and that is 5 out of 30, which is 1/6. It's not 1/125. I can't remember that off the top of my head, so I'm going to divide it. 1 divided by 6. Remember, you can always do this if you can't remember, which I can't perfectly remember, so I'm going to divide 6 into 40 goes, maybe it's 175. No, it's a 6. Is this 1/6 repeating? Yep, I'm going to get 40 again, right? Yep, so this is 1/6 repeating. So that'll be 17%. Okay? So at this point I have my percents. Now I have to convert them into degrees on my circle. Do you remember how many degrees your circle has? Are you remembering 360 degrees? Right? So at this point I want to know what 50% of 360 degrees, which that's kind of easy because 50% is just half of it. So what's half of 360? Well, half of 300 is 150. Half of 30 after 60 is 30. So this would be a 180 degree section of your circle, which if you remember, that's a straight angle. That's going to be half your circle. So I'm just going to freehand a circle down here. Half of your circle would be the Canadian coins, and you would write 50%. But you need to do it with a compass and some straight lines. You do it, don't do it freehand. I just can't on here. Then you have 33%, and you're going to have to take 360 and multiply that by 33%. And that will tell you how many degrees that one is. I'm going to let you do that part on your own because I'm running out of space on here. And then the last one for the Brazilian coins, it's 17%, which is 0.17 times 360 degrees. And that'll tell you how much those two are. Okay? For review, you're finding the perimeter of your triangle. That's just adding up the sides. Finding the circumference of your circle. I'm going to erase everything just to clear this up. Okay, so the circumference of your circle is pi times diameter, unless they give you the radius, and then you have to do the radius and double it. And they do give us the radius, so we need to double that. So 6.5 times 2 twice, I believe, is 13. Am I correct? And at that point, you would just do 3.14 times the 13. All right, I'm going to go to the back. I'm going to do these with you because these give everybody fits. I'd rather you get them right. We're not grading so much anymore since we're apart. I just want to make sure you guys get this right. And if you know how to do this and this is boring you and at this point you don't need me anymore, feel free to turn me off. But if it would help you to do this with me, and just, you know, it does you no good to just put in the answers, does it? This is for you. These lessons are for you. These lessons are to help you. These are lessons to help you learn how to do math. So we are doing this in a strange manner, and I can't sit there and say, hey, quit just copying my answers, right? So I know it's tempting and these can get long and a little arduous, but these are for you, and that so let me help you do them, but do them with me, okay? All right, so this is centigrams to milligrams. So centigrams are actually larger than milligrams. If we think of our grams, right here in the middle, remember we have decigrams, which are 1/10. Then we have centigrams, and I just write the prefix, which is 1/100th. And then we have milligrams, getting even smaller, which is 1/1000th. We don't need it, but we could put decograms, hectograms, and kilograms up top. All right, so I'm going larger to smaller. I know now that I multiply. All right, so it's going to be 6 times, or 6 and how many steps? Well, from centigrams to milligrams, it's only 1 step. So I can literally just take that 6 and add what? 1 0. Did you get that? All right, I'm going to go down to the next one. I know I'm going to D, but I like going down. 12 square feet is how many yards? How many square feet equal a square yard? Well, remember, 12 feet equal 1 yard, but this is a square. 12 feet squared, so everything's doubled. So you have to do 12 times 12. I mean, what am I doing here? Rewind. Let's try this again. 3 feet equal a yard. I was thinking inches. Sorry. You're thinking, poor Mrs. Kenny. She's getting old. Okay. There we go. Okay. So everything has to be squared because everything's in squares. So 3 squared is 9. So 9 square feet equals 1 square yard. Okay? So where you're going, this is tricky. We're going feet to yards, which is smaller to smaller to larger. So we're actually dividing 12 by how many square feet are in a square yard? 9. Oh, wait a second. Uh-oh. I think I just jumped to another lesson. Hold on just a second. I did just jump to another lesson, didn't I? Okay, well, it's good we didn't get very far with this. Hold on just a second. Let's see, we're doing 139. I hate when I do this. How about that one? Oh, I'm so sorry. We'll get to that one in a day. All right, here we go. You're thinking, oh man, what is she doing? I wish I could even almost back up, but I'll just text everybody and say I started doing the wrong lesson. Okay, here we go. So draw a circle with a diameter of 1 1/4. I can't do that with you, but just remember that this is set at diameter and your compass is set at radius. So you have to half this first. What's half of 1 1/2? You can just do 4, change it into an improper fraction, which is 5/4, and half it, right? and you get 5/8. So you're thinking, woo, that's a little tricky. So 4/8 is 1/2 of an inch. So you're going to have to look at the eighths on your ruler. So 4/8 would be at the 1/2 of an inch, and then you're going to have to move it 1 more eighth. That might be a little tricky. You might have to ask somebody to help you show you that, because I can't really show you. All right, now we're going to draw a 95-degree angle and bisect it with a compass. Just watch me real quick. First you're going to, that's totally not a 95-degree angle, not even close. It's going to be a little bit bigger than a right angle, right? Okay, so remember, you put your your compass right here, the pointy part, make an angle. I'm going to go real fast. You can do this when I'm done. Then measure from here to here with your compass. Put the metal point on one side of your compass, and you're going to swing it up, make an arc. Then put the metal point on the other side and swing it up, and wherever it met, you're going to make a straight line right through it. Okay, you can pause me if you need to do that. All right, let's jump down to number 8, and let's look at D. So this is 1/3 cubed, they say. So that's 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3. And remember, in the world of fractions, when you divide, you actually get a smaller number. I mean, when you multiply, you get a smaller number. Okay? All right. I'll do this real quick, because I know sometimes people get tripped up with that. If we have to change this to a decimal before we can multiply it by 5,000, first of all. So I'm going to change that 1/2 to a decimal, but still percent at that point. It's not a true decimal until I move this over twice. So a decimal would be 0.015, and I know I've said that 100 times now, but I want you to get that in your head. I'm going to keep life easy for myself, and I'm just going to do 5 times the 15. You say that's crazy, but watch what happens. I have 75. I'm going to put the decimal before it, which probably that doesn't matter. This one right here I left off. And I'm going to add the 3. Those are really important. 2, 3 at the end. Then 0.015 had 3. Okay, just let me think. I'm saying this wrong. And I'm confusing you, I'm sure. Let me erase. Let me try this again. All right. Oh, I see what I was doing. So I just wrote this again. So this is 0.015 as a decimal, right? All right. So what I've done is I've done 15. I'm just going to use this and forget about the 0 right now. I'm going to forget about these zeros right now and just use the 5. And so then I solve it with just the bare minimum here, and I get 75, right? Then I'm going to put all those zeros back in. What I was saying is this one may not mean anything, but those 3 at the end are going to be important. But I go ahead and put it in, because in some problem you may need it, depending on how many places you have to move your decimal. So anyway, there's 3 places after the decimal in my 0.015. So I have 3 places here. So I have 0.75, which is just 75. Okay, that's a tricky one. I like to keep doing it with you. All right, everything else I think you're good. Round to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so let me do one of them with you, and hopefully you have to round it. So if the radius is 4 inches, the diameter is double that. It's all the way across my circle, so it's 8 inches. So circumference is pi times diameter. So I'm going to do 3.14 times 8. I should have done the B and C. I am. You think I'm terrible, don't you? But if I'm going to do all these reviews with you, I'm going to do the extra credit ones. All right, so let's do the radius of this one. The diameter is 9 feet, so half of 9 feet is 4.5 feet. Or 4.5 is probably what I'm going to use with that, 4.5. So for the circumference of this B, I'm going to do pi pi, 3.14, gotta think, times the diameter, which is 9. I get 2826. Is that what you get? All right, so that's just good to go right there like that. And that's in feet. All right, area is pi times the radius squared. All right, so the radius is 4.5 or 4.5. I'm going to go ahead and square that as a 4.5. I get 20.25. At that point, now this one will probably need to be rounded, which is good. So at that point, I'm going to do the 20.25, and I'm going to multiply it by 3.14. Whoops. I'm going to fix that so I don't get too messy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do this lickety split. You do it too. Huh, lovely. They totally didn't get that. What did I do wrong? (3.14 times 5 squared). Why did they change that to 5? Oh, that's weird. So I'm looking in the book, okay? I'm looking at the answers here. I know it says, if necessary, round to the nearest hundredth. But I think they've made a mistake in the answer book. Because, you know, in the answer book, oh, that's weird. In the answer book, I wish I could see it. They're doing 3.14 times 5 squared. Well, oh, that's for C. Never mind. Never mind, never mind, never mind. Okay. Okay, we're doing 4.5 squared. All right. But I did something wrong. What'd I do? Oh, this is a 6, isn't it? Never mind me. Mold. Again, I'm using that as my excuse. All right, 6. There's a 6, right? Okay, we're good. I was totally looking at the wrong answer. I'm thinking they doubled 4.5 and made it 5. No. In C, that's a 5. And that's what they're doubling. Oh my goodness. Becca would never be wrong, right? Okay, here we go. Crazy Mrs. Kenny. We have 4 things after the decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. I'm so screwed up now. I should just give up while I'm ahead. 20.25 times 3.14. They get 63. I totally messed up a number somewhere. I think I need to remultiply this. If you want to go, you can go. You know, I can just sit here and talk to myself all day, so don't worry about me. Oh, did I forget the 3s or something? I don't know what I did. All right, it's getting late. This is like the 10th lesson I've done today. 8, 9, 10. 1, maybe I should go slower. 5, 2, 0, 2. Don't let your parents know I'm this bad. 0, 0. 15, 7, 1. Oh my gosh, that looks so much better. 5, 7, 8, 15, 4. No, totally get no. That shouldn't be a 4. Something's wrong. What I do again? 15, 6, 7, 0. Should be a 0. Should quit while I'm ahead. So now this is a 3. I totally would be getting this if I didn't have the answers in front of me. All right, there's a 3, there's a 6. Phew! Now 4 places after the decimal. 63, 58, 50. Okay, so we only want to go to the hundredths. So that 5 is rounding that 8 up, right? Well, they didn't even round it. Oh, they did up top. Okay. I'm gonna quit while I can get out of here without looking too terrible. Okay, how's that? Oh, and it's feet squared. Okay, did I help you or did I just make that worse? All right, so do the rest of what's left of the math lesson. I know I took way too long. I'll try to be quicker on the next one. Have a great day. Miss you guys. Bye, Judson. See you later.